Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. Here it is, Saturday. Welcome to Saturday. Welcome to September. Can you believe it? It's already September. Doesn't feel like that on the West Coast, although a little chillier in the mornings than it has been. But it is absolutely lovely out there. Feeling, like I said, a little bit like fall in the mornings. So I thought I'd make a fall card. I want to show you. I love masks, and so um, that when I saw these new Abundant Beauty decorative masks, I knew I had to have them. They're really cool because you can add layers. Hey Pam, glad it's nice in Nova Scotia too. Yeah, we really have had such a hot, dry season that we had a little bit of rain the other night, which was lovely. Anyway, the decorative masks in this particular one. Hey, Claudia, welcome. Glad you made it. There are sunflowers that you can layer. So there's 4 different masks that layer. There are numbers and slots or notches on them that you can actually layer them to get this lovely image. And to top it off and make it even better, there are 3 additional masks, one with snowflakes, one with fall leaves, acorns, and one that is, I believe this is herringbone. I haven't played with this one, but it's fun that there are 3 separate ones that you can also use. So I thought I would make a card kind of like it's fall using the sunflower one. It's going to be a thank you card, and I'm going to be using copper clay. Oh, I forgot I need a green. Copper clay, Daffodil Delight, pumpkin pie, I think. We'll see how it goes. And I need a green. So probably maybe Mossy Meadow or Old Olive. We'll see how it goes when I get to that layer. I just love the fact that you can layer these and you don't have to think about masking off in other ways. All right, let me switch over to my desktop and we'll get started. All right, again, these are the dies. So let me show you. So these are the 3 additional ones that you get. So this is the herringbone, kind of a check. The snowflakes. This would be really pretty if you have embossing paste, and I'll probably play with this one day. Embossing paste, you can color the embossing paste as well. And then this is going to be really pretty with all the leaves as a background. I love these. They're plastic, so you can use, they clean up easily, so even if you use embossing paste on it, you can wipe them off as long as you get to it fairly quickly. All right, now the ones that you layer. So there are 4. So there is the one with the kind of main flower. Then you've got the leaves. This one would be for the center, and then more detail in the center. And there are notches, and each one of those, there, I don't know if you can see that, there's a 4 on that one. So it tells you where so this is the first one. It's got a 1 and then a 2 for the leaves, and then a 3 and then a 4. And if you layer them all, lining up the notches, you will be able to get them perfectly aligned. So we'll see how this goes. All right, as I said, I am going to use copper clay, pumpkin pie, Daffodil Delight, and then the leaves will be Mossy Meadow. Definitely fall colors. Okay, let's bring in. So I've got a piece of copper clay that is cut 4 1/4 by 11. So we'll score this at 5 1/2. And as always, fold into the mountain or the raised line. And use your bone folder to get a good burnish on that. Okay, now I also cut a piece of Daffodil Delight, so I thought that would look pretty as the first layer. And then I've got a piece of basic white. Now this actually, I've left 4 1/2 by 5 4.5 by 5.5. So it's bigger than, I'm going to have to trim this down. But I thought I like to have a bigger piece of basic white when I'm doing masking, and then I can trim off what I need, or I can die cut it. The piece for the inside of the card is 4 inches by 5.25. And then I've got a piece of copper clay that is 1 inch by 4.5. I'm going to have to trim this, and a piece of basic white that is 3/4. And again, I'm going to trim this, but this is what I'm going to stamp my sentiment on. Okay, let's start with these amazing masks. All right, so let's start with this one. Now, I am going to take a piece of Post-it note tape. So you could use a Post-it note. I'm going to put this and just use my Post-it note tape to hold my piece of basic white on. And I'm going to put this in the middle, because remember, I'm going to trim it off. If I keep this in the middle and get it lined up, so if I know where I'm lining it up, I'm going to mark that, just because I want to remember that when I do the next one, I'm going to line it up in the same spot. So I've just kind of drawn a line around what will be the corner of my mask, and we'll just put another piece there. Okay, I'm going to use Daffodil Delight for the base of the cards, or base of the flowers. So I've got my Daffodil Delight ink pad. I've got a small blending brush. You could use a large one of the big ones. And I'm just going to pick up ink. I always keep my ink pad open and tap off. The nice part of this is you can start on the mask itself and not be worried about getting, kind of those blobs or splotches of color that's darker. But I always kind of tap off on the lid, and then you can pick up that ink if you want afterwards or as you're going. And you can go make these as dark as you want. Just love it. And I love the fact that as you're blending this, you get, different variations of the color. Now, I'm going to try very carefully to put a little bit of, I just need another blending brush. It is got some orange on it, so I've got a bigger one here. So I'm just going to try, get this open. I want just a little bit of pumpkin pie, and I'm just kind of keeping that kind of in the center of my flowers. Try not to go all over, just to add a little bit of color. I love the depth. Okay, there we go. I think that's going to be good. And then you can take this one off. Look at those flowers. Aren't they stunning? Wow. Amazing. Okay, so now the next one is number 2, which is the leaves. And again, I'm going to line it up. And actually, I think you can, don't even have to, no, you do. Okay, so I guess you could put a notch. I'm just lining this up where I put my mark so that the leaves will go where they're supposed to. And I'm going to use Mossy Meadow for my leaves. Let's tap that off. If you wanted to, you could use multiple colors for the leaves. I do want these a little bit darker than it's getting. I am going to trim this, and I'm going to lose some of my leaves, but that's okay. Again, go over it and make those leaves as dark as you want them to be. But I love that you can get some kind of darker spots on them. All right, that is my leaves. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Okay, so the next one is number 3. And again, put it where I marked it. This is going to be the center of my flowers. Now, I think I'm going to add another color to this. I think I'm going to add, let's see, am I going to add crumb cake or am I going to add pecan pie? I think I'm going to add crumb cake because I want to make sure my copper clay in the middle of it really gets, you know, kind of shows up really well. So you can play with these. I got a stunning card at backstage during the swap from Heather Thomas, who's one of the artisans. She's on our Creativity Abounds design team. And she used Berry Burst or Melon Mambo. And so it's all in pinks. It's just absolutely stunning. So while in theory, these are sunflowers, they don't have to be sunflowers. Again, line up my spot. So they don't have to be sunflowers. So now I'm going to use my copper clay in the center of my flowers. And I love, you can kind of just go over them. You can also just lift them up and see. Oh, isn't that pretty? There we go. Wow. So I'll pull this off. So Post-it note tape, Post-it notes, washi tape, whatever you want to use. Isn't that stunning? My gosh, they're so pretty. And I love the variation in the colors that you can get. Now I do need to trim this. So I'm going to lose some of my leaves, but I want to trim this to be 5 inches, 3 3¾ by 5. So I'm just going to trim off. So we'll do the 5 inches first. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to lose my leaves. So how wide is this? This is 4½. So I need it to get it a 3/4 of an inch. Okay, there we go. Let's try this and see. Oh, not too much of the leaf. This one I'm going to use a lot of that leaf. All right, I'm going to trim this one. That's okay. So I'm just kind of trimming, just turning it to get so that I don't cut off all one flower. But so I trimmed it to be 3 3/4 by 5, just because I want the flowers to be kind of the focal point. Okay, so those are going to layer on like that. Gosh, isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh. Okay, now I guess I'm getting rid of all my bits here. I won't glue that on quite yet. Let's bring in. So I've got this piece of copper clay that was 1 inch, and I'm going to trim it. And this is 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to make a thank you card. So I'm using the thank you so much. This is from the Layering Leaves stamp set. So this is actually 85%. This was a $1 million, Rachel Tessman's $1 million stamp set. And I absolutely love it. And the sentiments are amazing. There's so much choice for sentiments on this. All right, first time I've used this. Oh my gosh, how is that possible? All right, so I'm going to use the thank you so much. And I'm going to stamp it, the sentiment. I hope this is big enough. I think it is. Ooh, just. All right, I'm going to stamp my sentiment in copper clay. And I'm going to stamp it over to one side because I'm going to do a tag or flag end in this. There we go. 3/4 of an inch is just about right. Okay. So where am I going to put this? I'm going to put it down here, I think, and try not to cover all of the, maybe I'm going to put it in the middle. There we go. But I want to cut a flag end. And the way I do that is I'm going to trim these to be the same. So I'm going to trim these to be about 3 inches. Oops, I want them lined up so that they're the same length. So hopefully I can do that. There we go. And get them straight. Oops, that one. All right, now I'm going to take and trim this. So put them together. Take your paper snips. And I always cut up from the middle and then cut from the edges, because if I do it that way, I stand a chance of having my V of the flag or the tag in the center. If I don't do it, if I try to cut up from the edges, I end up with my V offset. Now I'm just going to take and cut up a little bit more because I want this one to be just a little bit so I can see the copper clay. So I'm just trimming this by maybe 1/8 of an inch. So again, I just cut up from the middle and then cut another little V out of this. There we go. So it's going to go like that. And we can use dimensionals on this. I've got 1 dimensional. So don't forget, this is quite wide, so 3/4 of an inch. I always try and stagger so you don't get it sagging in the middle. I don't like wobbly, saggy sentiments. All right, and so then this is going to line up with the edge like that. And we'll just get a little bit of the copper clay showing on that left-hand side. Okay, let's start putting this together. It would be easy to do a bunch of these cards for a swap or for just to have them made in advance. You could do a whole bunch and then do different colors. You could do different sentiments. So we'll put that on like that. Definitely try them. While they definitely look like sunflowers to me, definitely try them in different colors, because the one that I got from Heather was absolutely stunning. So for sentiments or for embellishments, this is the copper ribbon that comes with the All About Autumn. So I thought what I was going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of Stampin' Seal on the back of this. And I'm going to just kind of zigzag my ribbon. This ribbon is so pretty. It comes in a package with, it's called Natural, and it's 7/8 of an inch, so it's quite wide. But this copper ribbon is, I think, 1/4 of an inch. And it's just so pretty and goes with so much. And then we can take some more dimensionals and put over top. Again, I zigzag, or I stagger so that they don't doesn't wobble, and it also holds my ribbon in place like that. Okay, it can come off anytime. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to put this in the middle. I am going to cover up that one leaf, but that's okay. I've got the other leaves showing. You can trim your ribbon if you want to. I'll just trim this one end a little bit. And maybe this one. There we go. Okay, now on the inside of the card, what am I going to stamp? You know what I'm going to do? Since I have it, I am going to take this, because I love these little flowers. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to just do one of the flowers, not all of them, but one of the flowers on the inside of my card. Try not to do more than one. There we go. There's one. And then I'm not going to do a leaf, but I am going to do this center. And what did I do? I did crumb cake. I should wash these. I don't. I'm not very good at that. So I just try to kind of rub them on my grid paper or scrap paper. Oh, I should have to take that off first. Yeah, note to self, take the mask off from below so you actually can do some masking. And then the last thing that I want is this one. So I'm just lining these up. It's not I'm not lining up notches or anything because I really, thanks Pam. Yeah, you know, I only use these colors when it comes to fall. What did I do there? I used pecan pie. That was not what I wanted to use. I wanted to use copper clay. So let's try that again. And let's get back on, see if I can do this without. There we go. All right, that's good enough. That's just something on the inside of my card. So you kind of can, great grammar. You can use them. I did get a little bit of yellow on it, but you're not going to notice. And then this can go on the inside of the card. I think anybody would absolutely love to get this card in the mail. All right, and then the last thing I want to add is I have, these are the in color dots. And so there is copper clay, and there is these are wild wheat, but they look almost Daffodil Delight to me. I think I'm going to use the copper clay ones because I've got a fair amount of Daffodil Delight on this card. But you can, I love the fact that you can kind of mix and match. So even though they say the colors are boho blue, copper clay, moody mauve, wild wheat, and pebbled path, you can coordinate them with all sorts of our colors. This one will go with some of our pinks, and this one you could put on the gray granite or even on crumb cake. And the blue definitely can go with some of our other blues. I love that, so that you're not kind of restricted to using your embellishments for the colors they say. There we go. There is my thank you card using the Abundant Beauty decorative masks. They are so much fun. And you can make stunning cards. So I'll definitely have to play, hey Peg, some more with some different colors. Yeah, this is the first time I've played with them. So stay tuned, because I'm sure I'm going to grab my embossing paste and make some snowflakes, because that's such a pretty one for Christmas. All right, everybody, I hope you have a great day. I will be back live at 12 noon tomorrow Pacific, so I hope you'll join me then for another project. And otherwise, I hope you have a really good day and are able to spend some time in your craft room. Happy stamping. Bye.